Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Noel and I do unboxings, but today is a Q&A video to celebrate the channel getting to 3,000 subscribers since I started it back at the end of 2019. And of course there is a giveaway component. That is just my way of thanking all of you for your continued support. This has definitely been a lifeline and a really fun project for me over the past year and a half, and I can't wait to see the ways in which it grows. Now, some of the questions that were submitted in the first part of the giveaway are definitely repeat questions. There were a lot of duplicates and even triplicates, lots of things that I've answered in past live streams and even in past Q&As, but I do know that there are a lot of new subscribers, so I will try to touch on as many of them as I possibly can in the short 20 minutes that I allot for any video. And if there are a few questions that I miss, I will either do a second video or maybe I will just combine a few more of those answers along with a short unboxing of like a jewelry subscription or what have you. Now let's talk about the giveaway, because I know that's what a lot of you are here for. I am going to actually open this up to Canadian subscribers with a few limitations. So the prize, you actually get to choose from 4 different options. You can choose to receive the summer curateur box, and of course you'll get to choose if you want the caftan or the towel. My Canadian subscribers, if you choose this option, you will be responsible for paying the $25 US in shipping. It's just a little bit beyond my allotted budget for that, as well as any taxes and duties, but it is still an option for you and it is still a fantastic value. You can also choose to get the summer Causebox now, or Alltrue is their new name. Now that will not be customizable as far as I know unless they change that membership rule up, but you will get that Causebox, and that I will cover the shipping for my Canadian subscribers. You can also choose as a third option to get a $40 digital gift certificate to Once Upon a Book Club. Canadian subscribers, keep in mind that it is, I think, $20 US to ship to Canada, so that's going to be half of the gift certificate, but it will still kind of put a nice dent in it if you want to get one of those boxes or one of their one-time boxes or any limited editions that they have. And then finally you have the option, just the US subscribers, to get a curated, sort of according to your preferences, flat rate box from me. I'll do the large flat rate box. I'll talk to you about what you kind of like in terms of like jewelry or home decor, and then I will select a bunch of items for you from the different subscription boxes that I receive, so you kind of get your own personalized box, and that again is just an option for US subscribers. I'll do my best to explain all of that in the description box below. As always, I'm just going to use a Google form so I can get all of your pertinent information, and this will close a week from today, from when this posts at the very end of May. I will announce the winner and contact you via email, at which point you will send me a screenshot proving that you are subscribed to my channel, because I know that some of my subscribers are not publicly subscribed for whatever reason, and I totally respect that. And then I will definitely let you pick whatever prize you would like, and we'll figure out the best way to get that to you. So let's get to some of our questions though. I have sort of kind of organized them into different sections. The bulk of the questions were about YouTube and the channel, so like I said, I will try to start with those and we'll just see how much we get through. So most of the questions in the beginning were just what sparked your interest in starting a YouTube channel, and really it is, I have definitely done subscriptions in the past, but I always used YouTube unboxings as a way to convince myself not to buy a box, not to like sort of splurge and treat myself to that. And I was definitely doing that towards the end of 2019 with the Box of Style, because it was still called Box of Style, by Rachel Zoe, and it was the summer edition, I believe, and I kept looking at it. It might have even been the fall edition because it was towards the end of the summer, and I kept trying to convince myself that I didn't need it, but it had this like gorgeous necklace in it and this beautiful bag, and I finally watched enough unboxings that I decided I was going to go for it. And then I watched so many unboxings, and so many of my favorite channels are also your favorite channels, that I was like, you know what, just for fun, I'm gonna do my own unboxing, because I have a girlfriend where we both like to watch unboxings. So I did my own, and it was Box of Style, of course, and that was back in September of 2019, and then I just kept going with it. And then of course 2020 gave me lots of reasons to be at home, so it wasn't until the end of 2019 where I actually started posting maybe like every other day, and then it wasn't until actually March of 2020, I think, was the first month where I actually posted every day for a solid month. There's still some blips where I skip a day. There's some times when I'm able to post twice a day, but that's really in my mind where I really started the channel getting going, and I really started in my mind was like, I want to work towards getting monetized. I got monetized within 9 months, so around June of 2020, and that's how it all started. What made you decide to have your channel be about subscription boxes? I kind of covered that in terms of just like, that's the kind of videos that I was watching. I definitely watch a lot of Disney channels as well, and I have been, especially now with all of the parks reopening. How did I build my following on YouTube? I mean, I just did it as organically as possible. I mean, I started out with like, I think my goal at the end of 2019 was to get to 100 subscribers, and I was like so elated when that actually happened. But as with anything on YouTube, and I think also even on Instagram, there's definitely exponential growth. Like once you get past a certain threshold, it gets a little bit faster. That's my hope, at least. So hopefully when I get to those higher numbers, the subscribers continue to grow. It says, how do you keep up with the volume of items you get in all your boxes, especially since you've mentioned that you don't have a lot of space? So I actually have a stack of boxes right next to me that pretty much goes up to like head height. So there's probably like 10 boxes in 2 columns, and I actually have them categorized. Of course, I try to be as organized as I possibly can in terms of like bath and body products, you know, home decor items. There's definitely things that I hold on to because I have a special person in mind, especially like family and friends, where I know when their birthdays are coming up, or when, of course, the holiday season is coming up. And I actually really enjoyed putting together some holiday boxes for my family this last season, but now I have like a lot in store. So I'm kind of excited for the holiday season to roll around because I feel like I can clear a lot of these out. And that's definitely something that I like to do with the mystery box giveaways that I do pretty much every month. I'd say I do 1 or 2 of those. Then it says, how long have I been doing this? So I kind of answered that. It was since September of 2019. I really ramped it up in March of 2020. So it's been about 1.5 years total. It is not my full-time job. What is my favorite cause supported by subscription boxes? I definitely appreciate ones that are eco-friendly, even though I need to up my game in terms of being eco-friendly and sort of cutting out my single-use products in my life. But I am inspired by those boxes, and of course any boxes that support survivors of domestic trafficking, I think, is something as well that I really appreciate. Let's see, what box do you subscribe to even though you don't like everything in it, but you sub because you have FOMO? So I would say that's the case with a lot of boxes, because now I started to think of my channel as less of like, hey, these are boxes that I like and I pay for, and more about really being a service in terms of showing you the kinds of things that you might receive in those different boxes. So there's definitely a few that I subscribe to that I might not normally. For example, like Beachly, I think is a fantastic beach quarterly subscription. Sometimes though the curation might not be totally like my taste, but I definitely think that because I do specialize in lifestyle boxes, especially those with beach and travel and hygge like styling, that's definitely one that I sort of need to keep here on the channel. But every once in a while they totally surprise me, and it's like winds up being one of my favorite boxes of the quarter, so you never know. Let's see, it says, if I could create my own subscription box, what would the theme be and how would you curate it? Or if I was to start a subscription box service, what have I learned from a variety of companies that I review that I would implement into my business? So I have definitely answered this before, but my dream is to sort of incorporate what I've learned in this process as well as my love of travel. So it would definitely be a travel themed box, but hopefully a little bit different from all of the awesome travel themed boxes that are out there. I would really like to create a very like haute, like kind of couture, like boutique style box that really reflects maybe like luxury resorts that you would get to visit in different locales. So not all beaches, not all you know, ski vacations, but really kind of using some sense of culture, but also like a sense of luxury. So I guess it would be a luxury travel box, not so much on like experiences, not even necessarily like indicative of what the way that I travel, because usually I'm on a pretty strict budget and I'm not staying in those fancy hotels. But I think that's a space where I could really enjoy a box like that, because it is something that I could afford on that like sort of lower scale, you know, like the kind of box, the kind of welcome box amenities that you would receive in a luxury resort in some gorgeous destination that you would like to travel to. That would be my idea. Let's see, how many boxes do I typically get in a month for my YouTube channel? Because I post every day, you can kind of take a guess. It's about 30 boxes, if not more. But of course, you know, people are always surprised when I'm like, oh, at any given time, I probably have like accounts with like 50 to 60 boxes. But of course, that's because, you know, not every box is monthly. A lot of them are bi-monthly or quarterly. So I have to have more than 30 for those 30 days of the month. I have to have a few more on top of that. And that is why I'm able to sometimes subscribe or sometimes post more than once a day. So it says, what was the first box you ever received for reviewing on your channel in exchange for my reviews? I believe it was actually one that I do not actually review any longer for a variety of reasons. I think it was actually Secret, which is a beach box, but I'm not actually sure. I'm pretty sure I probably have that like starred somewhere in a journal. I used to keep all of my notes like in a journal, like handwritten, and now of course, because I'm me, I have moved to an Excel spreadsheet, because that's just the way I like to keep everything organized. Says, how do I get so many boxes sent to me at no charge? Well, in all honesty, I don't get a lot of boxes sent to me for no charge. I didn't actually even start asking for PR boxes until I was monetized on YouTube. I just didn't feel like I had enough of an audience to make that a compelling offer. So I honestly still pay for probably about half of the boxes. Some of them I might get a discount for. Some of them I'm on a referral program, but I do not actually get that many boxes sent to me for review if you compare it to other channels. So how do you know how to look to see if someone is a public subscriber? Yes, you can definitely use TubeBuddy. You can definitely see in the comments, but I also know that a lot of people are not publicly subscribed for whatever reason, just because they might not want people to see what channels they're subscribed to. So that's why I do most of my giveaways the way that I do, where I have them actually show me a screenshot showing that they are subscribed. Also, sometimes, like, unless you pay for a version of TubeBuddy where you can like kind of search things, then it's a little bit harder once you have like more and more subscribers to make sure that someone is subscribed. So that's why I do it the way that I do it. What has been the best part about having an unboxing channel is honestly all of the comments. I've really enjoyed them. Yes, there are definitely some people who I feel like don't have anything positive or constructive to say, and there are definitely moments where I've received comments that have been a little bit negative, but overall you all have been so supportive and fantastic, and I do really feel appreciated, and I hope you feel appreciated as well. What is your favorite item that you ever received in a box? There's no way that I can answer that. I think probably some of the jewelry items, like from Rachel Zoe's Box of Style, have just been things that I find myself reaching for and using a lot. But I mean, every box is so different. It's pretty hard to keep that consistent. Someone asked me to review Down the Rabbit Hole book box. That is in the works. Says, will I continue daily videos once things get back to normal? That is my plan at the moment. I would like to eventually get to the point where I don't have to post every day and I can keep my views up. But for the foreseeable future, I do definitely see myself posting at least once a day. Maybe I'll get to the point where it's like 5 times a week and I have that sort of freedom, but I will as much as I possibly can. What's my next goal for my channel's success? So I would love to see my channel at 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. At my current growth rate, that's not going to happen, but that is sort of my like goal. That's where I would like to be at the end of the year. If I could be there at the end of 2 years, that'd be even better, but that's definitely not going to happen. Am I going to do YouTube full-time? I don't think that is ever going to happen, just because you can't necessarily trust what's going to happen with YouTube. I am lucky enough that I've been able to start kind of having other revenue streams through YouTube. So I have my ad revenue, which is very limited, as well as now I'm starting to do some product photography that I'm getting paid for, which is fantastic because I do really enjoy that. And then also, of course, some affiliate revenue, which is basically the commissions that I get when you click on certain links, but not that many of the boxes that I work with, unless they're like sort of bigger and they already have affiliate marketing programs, actually have that opportunity in place. So right now I'm not making as much as I could, and as much as other channels definitely do through that stream, but hopefully that kind of changes in the future. I would like to not have to rely on the YouTube ad revenue so much in terms of being able to break even. Do I still get credit if someone uses an old link from a box that I currently don't feature? It just depends. It depends on if it was a referral program or if it was an affiliate program. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I definitely really appreciate when all of you let me know if you used a link or let me know if you used a code. It also really helps me if you tell me if any of those links or codes are broken, because sometimes it's just a matter of me reaching out to that company and making sure that it's still active, and they definitely appreciate hearing that those are kind of evergreen, and that, you know, even if the video posted 3 months before, you know, I do have boxes that come back and say, hey, that's so awesome. I wound up getting, you know, a referral that was from 3 months ago. And that's something that I always tell boxes as well when I approach them and ask for PR boxes is, you know, it's not necessarily immediate. And that's something I always have to convince subscription box owners of, is like, just because we didn't get any hits, just because you didn't get any orders, conversions off of this one video doesn't mean it's not going to happen in the future. Sometimes people like to see several unboxings of one box before they sort of pull the trigger, and that's definitely was the situation I was in when I was just a viewer watching different subscription box unboxings. I wanted to see several by several different reviewers, and then I would decide which link and which code was going to work the best for me. YouTube is not my only main source of income by any means. I also work from home. And it says, why don't you do clothing unboxing try-ons? I have explained this before in my clothing subscription box videos, but mainly it is because of my video style. One of the ways that I feel like I keep my videos really authentic and keep myself from going too OCD and over editing things is I do not edit my videos. So they are continuous take videos. That's another reason I try to keep them under 20 minutes. So obviously for clothing try-ons, that doesn't work because you would have to stop the camera and then edit the videos. And that's just not like something that I necessarily want to focus on, because I feel like I would spend way too much time adding music, adding captions, making sure that I got all the right cuts and making sure that I took out all of the ums. And that would just not allow me to actually post as often as I do. And there's just so many people who are already doing clothing try-on videos that I think do a really great job at it. Several people asked me, this doesn't have to do anything with YouTube, but this was sort of in a cluster of questions, so I'll go ahead and address it. Lots of people asked, am I having kids? When am I having kids? And I don't have any plans to be a mom. I never have necessarily. My husband, my parents would love for me to have kids, but I don't think that is in the cards. So let's see. Are you looking to do YouTube videos as full-time work? So yes, I was a yoga instructor. I did not work full-time, but I did actually work probably about 30 hours a week doing that. I actually probably a little bit less towards the end. It was probably more like 20. And I really enjoyed it. I haven't decided yet if I am going to go back, but I've always had several revenue streams. I've always had several jobs. I also work as a freelance editor for a company and on my own doing academic articles and papers. So I don't necessarily need to go back to yoga, and I don't necessarily feel like YouTube is ever going to be my full-time job unless I like get a sponsor, and that's something that happens along the way. Will I ever do vlog or lifestyle videos? That is definitely something that I would love to do, but again, that would be a change in my editing style, which is no editing at the moment, and I would really love the help of someone else, like to have somebody else to sort of guide me through that, or I would just need to actually have a lot more time so that I would actually sort of become like 2/3 of my work for me to devote that much time to do the editing and do those kinds of videos, because they do take so much more work. So I would have to be making a lot more money from ad revenue and affiliate money and product photography for me to justify doing that. But I would love to do that. Like, I would love to eventually like have a travel channel where I get to share all of my travels with you, because that was such a huge part of my life. And honestly, if I had started my channel any sooner, I probably would never have been able to be posting every day, because I used to be gone like for a week every month almost. And then finally, before we get to the other sections, which I will have to save for another video, the last question is, you should accept viewer fan mail. I guess it's not even a question. It says, you might get some neat things. We appreciate your hard work. Well, I appreciate that. I definitely do accept viewer fan mail. I don't have like a separate PO box, but I will include my address in the description box this time. It's just not something that I necessarily have up all of the time. And you can always email me or DM me over on Instagram if you have a question, or if you want to send me something, or if there's like a company or a box that you'd like me to review. I'm definitely open to that. And then let's see, the last question as we sort of like shift into other categories was, what has my hobby or passion during quarantine and shutdown been? It has, of course, been YouTube. It hasn't been jigsaw puzzles or sourdough bread. It has been getting to know all of you and sort of starting to really build this channel and see if I can actually make this a brand and have other things be associated with it. I would love to do that. I would love to be able to devote more time to it. And again, I want to thank all of you so much for helping me get through quarantine with this YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this answered some of your questions. I will get to the rest of them eventually, I promise. And hopefully I see you all very, very soon in my next unboxing.